Welcome back to the PricePlow channel. We are about to embark on a product video accolade for the year that we've never talked about as comparisons before. We've done small comparisons between them, but vegan proteins seem to have taken over the PricePlow channel in the last year and a half. Like, I don't know what happened.
Going vegan.
But yeah, I think Mike and I have to stop eating the meat. We're going to move over to a plant-based lifestyle, and we're going to lose all of our gains.
Oh, Heather too. So, well, here's what's funny is flashback. We did a top 5 plant-based or vegan protein list, and one of them was EVL's Evolution Nutrition.
Oh my God.
The plant protein, and actually it had honey in it, which is not a vegan ingredient because the bees. And wow. Okay. So since that video, we've been sent a ton of different vegan proteins, and everyone, whether it is because they're going dairy free or they truly are going on a plant-based diet, the vegan proteins have come along. The market has grown, and with that, the demand has grown, and with that, the supply of better vegan proteins has grown. So it's been the whole rising tide is lifting all ships, and we're getting to the point. This year was a huge year where I really do believe that these proteins can compete. They're not as good as a dairy-based milkshake. They can compete though. And we're going to talk about a few that compete very well. So on this list, we have, where are we at? Vegan protein of the year. We have 4 that have made the list here. And I guess I'll just read them down here right now. First is PE Science's mint chocolate. I recently reviewed that and was very, very excited about it. But the PE Science vegan select protein has been out for quite a while. They were early in the sports nutrition industry to have that. I was very impressed with the mint chocolate. Then we have Beam Vegan. Beam has already won the flavor system of the year for non-proteins in their pre-workout. Heather loved the mango lime, and so that put it over the top. Then we have Kaged Muscle Plantein, and that is a new entrant that has a new technology using ioPEA from IO Nutrition, and that's been a very, very exciting launch with Kris Gethin. And then we have, of course, can't be a flavor thing without Ghost being mentioned, and we have Ghost Vegan's chocolate cereal milk on the list as well. So that's our background.
So let's talk a little bit about the differences between these two. Because there are some here, right? Obviously the different sources and stuff, right? That'll change a little bit. The most notable one here is plantain is a single source of plant protein, being pea protein from IO Nutrition. Traditionally, we have to mention that the methionine is low in this one, but because of the technology involved, it delivers essential amino acids to the bloodstream on a very similar level to actually hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, not even a normal blend of proteins. So I'm not super familiar with PE Science, but Beam and Ghost Vegan are very similar in nature. It drives a little bit of controversy between them. Obviously, they may or may not be coming out of the same area, but PE Science, I actually haven't personally tried, but I know that you guys love it.
I tried to send you some. So PE Science. So let me, so PE Science, I think Heather's got a bit of a delay, but PE Science is a pea and brown rice blend. And stevia sweetened. Ghost, of course, is sucralose sweetened. So we do have to mention that. That's it's not plant-based, but it is vegan. And some consider that cheating, some don't, some want it, some don't. Either way, sucralose is a nice sweet molecule. So that is that. And then Beam is multi-source, but they are using correct me if I'm wrong, they have the mung bean extract in there that thickens things out. And
they use the smooth protein.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm delayed. They use the smooth protein by compound solution. So I think that really helps out with the texture, consistency. And a lot of people like that protein from them. So
Ghost uses a very similar version of the same sources. It's not technically smooth proteins. We can't claim it as us, but it's the same sources without the actual claim of smooth proteins. So that's why you find a very similar texture between the two of them. So I'll be transparent here and tell you guys that the first time I had the chocolate vegan from Ghost, I actually couldn't really tell that it was a vegan. It kind of tasted, felt, had the experience of very similar to whey protein. If you go to my review on that, it was pretty honest. Outside of the way that it like laid on the side of a shaker cup after you finish drinking it. If you guys have ever had vegan protein, you know that it leaves a gritty texture on the wall of the shaker. Other than that, I really could not tell much of a difference from a normal chocolate protein. But I do think that it's a little bit of a ringer there because of the usage of sucralose. It tasted a lot like a normal protein because it was sweetened like a normal protein, whereas these other ones are going to be using natural sweeteners. And I think that we know for a fact that viewers and consumers are buying vegan proteins now, not because they're vegans, but because they want to get away from dairy sources, not necessarily the natural aspect, but getting away from animal proteins and dairy and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how much that's worth to the consumer, but man, I was blown away by that one. Followed by plantain. I was also really, really wildly impressed with that. And then Beam was kind of alongside that, very similar to Ghost, but a natural sweetener.
Yeah. So, okay. Being the person who's tried the PE Science mint chocolate, as well as I've only had the blueberry Beam and the banana plantain. So I've had some weird flavors, but having been the PE Science person, I want to put it on the list, give them credit, but it's not as good as the other two. So I'm going to drop PE Science off the list. You PE Science fans out there know I'm a huge fan and know that it's the cinnamon delight flavor is insane. Mint chocolate's just the perfect amount of mint. And that's why I liked it so much. Not too much, not too little, very exciting. However, to me, the technology that is in plantain and the flavoring that I at least had with the blueberry and the texture that you have in the blueberry Beam beat PE Science. So I'm knocking PE Science out, even though I love them. After that, to me, I haven't had the other Beam ones, but man, plantain rocked my world. And I almost want to see, I'm wondering, like, it's just pea protein. I'm curious if the ioPEA technology, which we have videos on and blog posts about, if anyone's interested in this stuff, go find it. I wonder if that technology made it taste better too or something, or if Kris and Brian Rand just did such a great job flavoring it. But the banana flavor, what I do is I take the banana flavor when I'm dairy free. I always eat a lot of meat, but when I'm dairy free, I take the banana flavor and I add walnuts to it. And that's cheating a little bit, but I could do it without the walnuts. I just love the banana plantain. And so it's going to be my vote, especially because knowing the technology that they put into that protein with the ioPEA is double exciting. And so that's where my vote's going, but I want to hear what you have to say about Beam. But I think that for the most of the vegans out there who don't want to deal with sucralose, I do think it comes down to Beam and then Kaged Muscle myself, but I'll let you two talk because you've had more of the standard flavors. I've kind of had the exotic flavors.
So I had the cinnamon roll plantain, and the first time I had it was just in the shake. And I thought it was honestly dairy protein, kind of like what Ben thought with Ghost. It was crazy. It was very smooth. I didn't get that chalky. I've had PE Science before, and although the flavor is good, it does have that little chalky grittiness. Like I can tell it's a plant protein. With plantain, I didn't get that at all. I was impressed with how they were the first to use the ioPEA plant protein. I'm interested to see more research on that, but the research they do have is very impressive. As Ben mentioned, the ioPEA the ingredient optimized technology seems to overcome pea protein's lack of like bioavailability essentially for the amino acids. So it shows that it raises plasma amino acids to the same level as whey, which is very impressive. And beyond that though, flavor, taste, you can't like not mention that with a protein because no one's just going to drink a protein that tastes bad or is gritty or chalky. And I use the plant protein. I kept coming back for more, honestly. I never have done that with a vegan protein. So for me, that's the clear winner. Beam is obviously, they have a good formula. They have good flavors. I like them as well. They add some trace minerals from Aquaman. So they have some interesting stuff in there. You can.
Yeah, for me, this goes to plantain. I'm just a fan of it in so many different ways. The flavor, the texture, Mike, to your point about whether or not the ion nutrition actually helps with the flavor, when we spoke with them, it did mention that there is a little bit of that, but I don't think it changes it entirely. I think that Kaged Muscle, especially with their new manufacturer, has brought together their flavors really, really well. For me, between the technology and how impressive that is, and I was excited that they brought that to market in a year where it's been a little bit controversial with Kaged Muscle and technology. They pulled this one out. They did a great job with it. If this was last year or one of the years where Ghost dropped a bunch of different vegan flavors, it'd be harder to convince me. But for this year, plantain from Kaged Muscle had me the most excited. Great flavor. I'm the most fan of this one. It's the one for me.
Awesome. And this is might be our first very unanimous video here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there weren't a lot of vegan proteins this year. It was like the beginning of the year and a lot of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome. So there it is. All right. Well, we keep the video shorter than the others. I very excited. I got to get the other flavors now. I love that banana flavor. So if you are a banana
cinnamon
person,
roll is insane.
Awesome.
Insane.
Awesome. Well, guys, you can check out Kaged Muscle on our blog. You can go watch our videos reviewing the flavor and talking about the technology behind it as well on YouTube and Instagram. And you can always read Heather's write-ups on the blog. For any other information, you can run over to blog.priceplow.com. I'm not sure if it's Kaged-Muscle.
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for making this point in the video. Congratulations, Kaged Muscle. You had a very interesting year. And I think this was a definite win for you guys. If you're looking for a vegan protein, check out Plantein from Kaged Muscle.
Yeah, and I would also say that take a look at the IO nutrition articles, and I think you're going to see more of this ioPEA coming out, and they have ioWEA as well. We're going to be covering, so I'm excited about some new technologies involved. And Kaged Muscle brought it out, and it won, so there might be something there.
Awesome.